Hey guys, this is Dino from Toku Nation, back again with another video review. I just posted up a gallery of the DX Go Buster Ace on Toku Nation, and I had some members who had questions about the way the transformation works, how complex the figure is, if it holds up, based on how other Sentai toys hold up. So I just wanted to throw this up there and answer some questions. We're going to start off with the Ace in its standard vehicle mode, CB01. It's actually a pretty cool car, to be honest with you. The Ace itself isn't large by Sentai standards. It's actually quite small, but it's an interesting design, to say the least. I think the Go Buster toys get a lot of undeserved hate. They're fairly innovative for what they are. So let's start here by checking out the Nick Cheetah figure that it comes with. We're just going to close this up, and there's the standard car. Now Nick actually looks like he could be a Goseiger header. The mouth opens. He's painted pretty nicely. He's about the right size for a header, actually. And on the back of him, he's got a little Nick robot, which looks like it could easily be a Ranger key, except that it's about half the size of what a Ranger key normally is. Otherwise, though, it's a pretty cool little figure, and it scales with the car, which, if you've seen the show, makes no sense at all, because the car and Nick aren't even close to in scale together at all. So the fact that these two things scale together is ridiculous. So let's plug Nick back on here, and we'll take you to Cheetah mode. Oops, my bad. Alright, so to go to Cheetah mode, we're going to flip the side panels down and snap them in, fold the front legs out, and we're going to flip these panels back down as well, and flip the back legs out, which they then fold out the rest of the way. Repeat that. Most of a cheetah, and then what we do is with the sword, we push it through, and then up, and we rotate the wrists from the robot mode down, and we actually get a realistic tail. Well, realistic by giant robot cat standards, I guess. The nice thing about using the tail to form the sword is you get the added bonus of the way the sword can be posed like this. Kind of gives you a jointed tail. You can kind of make it look like a giant cat. It's not the greatest or most convincing cheetah in the world. I don't know too many cheetahs with red windshields on their backs, but hey, I'm not expecting a ton of things out of these. They're still toys. I actually overall think this is still a pretty nice toy, even in this mode. But the robot mode is where the Ace really shines, so let's go that direction. Let's flip the legs back up onto the sides. We're going to pop Nick out, because he's going to be around for later. Flip the feet the rest of the way up. And what we're going to do is take this and fold it down. This is actually a lever or trigger that locks the legs into place. You can't actually move them if you don't push that in. I actually had some people question this hollow bit in the leg here. If, Bandai could have possibly done something to fill that gap in. To be honest with you, the way this transforms, I really don't think they could have. I mean, it's an odd design to say the least, but I don't really think there's any way they could have filled that gap in and still had it transform this way with the legs collapsing in on themselves. So what we're going to do is fold the animal legs back up from cheetah mode and back up onto the shoulders. And then we just split it apart, which then reveals the head of the Ace. Rotate these down, and rotate the arms down, which have a nice bit of articulation themselves in the shoulder there. And then there's also an elbow and a sort of wrist that can bend backwards for one reason or another, I guess. And then on the sword hand, it's a ball joint that holds it in there, which, people have asked if these things will stress out and fracture over time. Mine actually has not. I know some people who've had a problem with that, but, it's actually a fairly strong joint. I was pretty skeptical of it when this thing first came out, but it's worked pretty well over time. And it works for posing the sword really well. It works very well. Then what you're going to want to do is take Nick and plug him into the chest, and then fold the antenna and the sunglasses out, which it's a giant robot with sunglasses. That is all that needs to be spoken of the subject, I think. So pretty much this is the Ace in robot mode. You know, it's not the biggest robot in the world. It's certainly small by Sentai standards, but it's a nice toy. I mean, it's innovative, it's ambitious, it's overlooked. Another member on Toku Nation put it this way: the Ace is the dark horse of the Go Buster line. It sort of gets overlooked because the other toys in the line get way overlooked. But really, it's a great figure. I think you'd probably enjoy it if you owned it. It's fun. You know, the combinations with the other figures aren't perfect, but we'll get into those in future reviews and galleries, which I will be doing in the coming weeks. The next one's going to be a combined gallery of Gorilla and Rabbit, actually. But for the time being, I would probably highly recommend the Ace. You can find it on a lot of Japanese retail websites, you know, for 2,000 to 4,000 yen, which is a really good deal for this. I actually paid full retail for my Ace, and I've got to say I don't really regret it at all. It's a great figure, and I'd highly recommend it. So, thanks a lot, guys.